So this is not very much related to your level now, but in future you may write test plans. And now in Agile, we don't do lots of documentation, so we don't use these test plans and all. But typically in waterfall model, you'll write lots of test plans. You'll write test plan for each of your project. Then we have test case design. Test case design is a document which defines what is selected to test and describes expected result, and there will be some set of procedures to execute your tests. For example, we have this TeamViewer screen over here. So when I click this download button, the download should start. That is my test case. So this test case will write in a document. Okay, and that document has some fields. We'll see those fields. Don't worry if you don't understand anything. In some time we are going to see those documents, and I'll explain everything in detail, and practically we'll do some stuff. Okay, and after that, after we prepare the test case, we'll come and execute the tests. First we'll write all the test cases in a Excel sheet or any software which the company is using. So we don't need to particularly worry about the softwares what company use. We should know what test case design document will contain. Okay. After that we'll start executing tests. We'll know some tests fail, some pass, and all those information is stored in this test log. Okay. After that we'll do defect tracking. So we'll talk much about defect tracking after we learn something about bug life cycle. At the end of the testing activity, we have a test report. What is this test report? How many test cases we were running, and how many test cases were passed, how many are failing, and did we cover all the bugs, or any bugs are remaining or not. That is test report. You don't need to create this one as well. Most of the cases, 90% of the cases, this is also generated by a software. You will use some software for this bug tracking called as Bugzilla or Mantis or something. Okay, so when you use that software for this bug tracking, then this report will be generated free in that software. At the end of the activity, this report is generated. So forget about everything now. Only will concentrate on something called as test case document. Okay. Before that, we'll quickly see what test plan document contains. Even though we don't write this, we should know what it contains. Test plan document contains test objective. What is test objective? What we are going to test. What is our goal? That is test objective. Okay. It contains test strategy. Sometimes this test strategy will be in separate document, but sometimes they will also include in the test plan itself. It depends to company, employee to employee, their methods, how they do the things. What does test strategy contains? Any techniques that are going to be used during this testing. What techniques we know? Boundary value analysis, equivalence partition, those will be tested. What types of test must be conducted? Are we doing functional testing only, or are we also doing some security testing or load testing? All these things will be covered here. What stages of testing are we doing here? Unit testing and integration testing and system testing, or only system testing, or only unit testing? Everything will be covered here in test strategy. After that, we'll have risk and analysis. We'll see whether if any risk occurs, what to do, and we'll have a mitigation plan for that. We'll have a section for risks and mitigation plan. For example, if the machine fails, what to do immediately? Do we have a backup or something? If resource goes sick, resource means if a tester goes sick, what to do? Who will test it? What is the backup plan? If tester A goes sick, we will borrow a tester from another project and we'll do, or we have a spare tester, something like that. and test schedule and resources. Like test plan, it is taking 3 hours, and resource is 1. Test design, it is taking 5 hours, and resource is 3. Maybe this is QA manager, and these are QAs. So what are the roles and responsibilities involved in this testing? Test manager, test leader, test engineer. All these things will be listed in communication approach. Are you using Skype, or are you using face-to-face communication, or are you using emails a lot? Everything will be listed in this communication approach. Test environments, what are the software requirements? Are you using Windows, Java and all, or what softwares are you using? What hardware requirement you have? Are you using an Apple Mac machine, or are you using Windows machine? What are the tools needed? Everything will be given in this test environments thing. If you are using automation, what automation tools are you using, and everything about it. So that's about test plan document. So we'll see one more real-time test plan document, then we'll understand. So any doubts in test plan document? You want once again?
If you can, Kiran, please.
Yeah. So test plan document is written or developed by test manager or QA manager. The purpose of it is to cover the entire testing approach, to document the entire testing activity, to see if there are any risks or not, to schedule it, like how long it will take, what softwares we need, what hardwares we need, and all that stuff. So we have sections in it. First thing is test objective. Test objective is what we are going to test and why we are going to test. That is objective.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll have test strategy. What are the techniques we are using, what tests we are conducting, and what stages of testing we are doing, and all. For example, here we can write equivalence partition, boundary value analysis. What types of tests must be conducted? We'll write only functional testing, because we are not doing any security testing or load testing or any other testing. Okay, what stages? Only functional, only system. Sorry, we are not doing unit testing or any other testing. Okay, any risks? If you think of any risk in your project, list out all the risks. And if you think of any mitigation plan for that, you can give all the mitigation plans for this. What is mitigation plan? When you identify a risk, you will have a way to overcome how to overcome that you can write over here. Okay. It depends from project to project. Each project may have different kinds of risks and different kinds of mitigation plans. And also we don't need to worry much about it right now, because it's not our job to write these test plans. Even if you want to write, there will be always a template. So you can see the template and just change it according to your project. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay. Test schedule and resources. So how many testers are working, and how much duration it is taking. This is the schedule and resources. And we'll have roles and responsibilities. Who are involved? One test manager, one test lead, and 2 testers or 3 testers, test engineers. What does they do? It's all given here. What is the communication approach? How do you communicate? Emails, or do you have something else like messengers, instant messengers, or Skype, or whatever it is? What are the software requirements you need? What are the hardware requirements you need? What are the tools you need for this testing? If you are using any automation, you can write those tools as well, like Selenium, WebDriver, and TestNG, and all those things. That's it about test plan. Shall we see a sample test plan? No.
Yeah.
Even before we go to test case, we'll see sample test plan, so that So what I wanted to show you, testing. Sorry, I got plenty of documents. I don't know where I have test plans. Test case format is here. I don't know whether, yeah, this is a sample test plan, but this is not a good test plan. It's only 2 pages test plan. So here we have introduction, we have we don't even have an objective, we just have an environment, we have risks and mitigation plans, but this is not a very good one even in waterfall model. This seems to be a good test plan. See, what do we have? We have purpose, which is the objective, and project scope. Scope means what we are testing. We only test login screen of something. We don't go beyond that. That is scope. So we have introduction, we have project scope. Scope is what do we test and what do we don't test. Clearly we'll write that we test only this, we won't test that. See, features not to be tested. After that you'll have the test strategy. You have something called as entry criteria and exit criteria. We'll talk about entry criteria and exit criteria. Just note down, I'll tell you what is entry criteria and all a bit later. See, any risks in this project, they have risks that changing functionality and all this kind. I'll send this document to you, you can read if you want. And defects classification, they have a lot more data to them. It depends on their company and their thing. So this is very extensive, exhaustive test plan of 21 pages. We'll see one more
like,
test plan.
Something similar to our dissertation.
Yeah, something similar to your dissertation. This is also a test plan, but they don't do it again and again. They'll just change something in between then, and it is okay. Okay. Anyway, I'll send the test plan to you. You can go through it, or you can even Google for test plans. You'll get lots of test plans. Okay.
So when you go to real time, they just give you this plan for every QA, isn't it?
No, they don't give it to every QA. They will have it in some central location.
Okay.
So if you want to have a look, you can have a look at it. But what do you do with it? It's not really what, but it is sometimes useful. Like you should know what to test and what not to test.
Yeah.
So that will be in your test plan. So unnecessarily, if you are testing something which is not important, then you lose your time. That's why you can go to test plan document and see
What to test and
what to test. What is my scope? What is the scope? Only this one, or this one and that one, or only that one?
Okay.
Only Gmail login screen, or you want to test me Gmail login screen plus compose screen plus calendar as well? So all those things will be given in test plan, scope, and what softwares we have. Actually, your project leader, they will tell you all these things, but for documentation sake, if someone new is coming after you,
Yeah.
they should understand what was going on. The test plan document will tell you all those things. But nowadays no one is writing, as far as I know. Nowadays it's all agile. Agile is very different. We'll see when we start agile. Okay, and as I said, only test leads and test managers will write. So you just forget about it. But what you need to concentrate is this one, test case document. So what is this test case document? Even before we start our testing, that means even before we execute our test, we should have something called as test case. What does test case contains? Test case ID. Test case ID is any ID, any unique ID which you give to your test case. Okay, you can give anything. Test case description. What is it? What you are going to test? Okay. Test case procedure. How you are going to test? Okay. Test case ID is some 001. Test case description is testing the login functionality of Gmail. Test case procedure is when enter username in username field, enter correct username in username field, enter correct password in password field. Okay. Test inputs and test data. The correct username, for example, wonderful is my email ID, so that's my test data, and password is some password, that is my test data. Next, expected result. What are we expecting? If I give correct username, correct password and click on login button, then I should see inbox. Okay, only this bit we'll have in the document, test case document. After that, when we execute the test, when we really do the test, whatever result we get, that result is called as actual result. When the expected result is equal to the actual result, then the test is passed. Otherwise, the test is failed. What is expected results? We are expecting to see the inbox. If we see the inbox, fantastic, the test is passed. If we don't see the inbox, then the test is failed. Okay. So, for example, we'll write one test case now. So you can create your own test case formats. The one which I have is not formatted very well. You can create some very good one in Excel, or you can generate your own, you can download your own templates. Okay, first what we have, test case ID. Okay, we have name, tested by, test date and all. We have precondition and assumption. We don't have any preconditions and assumptions. Precondition can be, I am on Gmail login page. That is the precondition for all these test cases. So first test case, I'm giving the ID as Gmail_01. You can give whatever you want. Are you all able to see? It is very small, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay, if you can't see, please let me know.
No, it's visible.
Okay, so even before going to Gmail screen and executing, we'll design our test case. Our test case is to see the functionality of this login page, whether it's working properly or not. And how will we design our test cases? Based on the requirements. Okay, we'll have a requirements document. I told you we'll have some requirements documents called as BRS or FS, business requirement specifications or functional specification documents. In that document, it will be written that when you enter correct username and when you enter correct password and click on sign in button, then it should log in.
Okay.
Okay, so my test case description is testing, one second, testing Gmail login functionality. Okay, test data is username is SCLN648 at gmail.com or whatever it is, and I have a password as well. Sorry, any correct username or password. So that's the username. 1 second. That's the username, and I have password as well. Password is agile tester. Test case steps. So enter the test case steps will be always in form of numbers. So first one is enter the username in username field. Next, second step is enter password in password field. Next, click on sign in button. What is this? Sign in button. Click on sign in button. Okay, and what are we expecting? We should see inbox, or we should see our name greeted by our name. Welcome something. Welcome Kiran, or we are expecting welcome Kiran, or welcome, I don't know what the username is, Selenium 648. Welcome Selenium 648 or something like that. So if the result is same while we execute the test, we will execute and write the actual result over here. If the result is same, we'll write it, we'll make it passed over here. If it is wrong, we'll make it failed. That's it. So now the time for test execution. I opened Gmail. I'll enter the username scln648@gmail.com, and the password is agile tester. Okay, it is logging in. Fantastic. And it said Gmail is bit changed. So instead of we say welcome, this one expected result, we should see inbox. And when we logged in, when we executed the test, what is the actual result? We are actually seeing the inbox. So here we are shown inbox, or we are taken to the inbox. The test is passed. Instead of inbox, when we logged in, if we see something else, if we see YouTube, then our test is failed. Suppose we think we came to this page instead of inbox, we'll write here in the actual result youtube.com is shown, and the test is failed. So what is the bug now? The bug is it should go to inbox, but it is going to youtube.com. That is the bug. Okay, bug is nothing, not a physical thing or something. If it is not, if you think it should work in some way, and if it is not working in that way, that is the bug. It should go to inbox, but it is going to YouTube. That is a bug. Because Gmail is live system and it doesn't have any bugs, it is going to inbox, and this is inbox and passed. Any doubts here? That's all. That is what is your test case. That's what is testing, manual testing. And what do we do with this bug? We have a bug life cycle. I'll explain in a bit.
Okay.
Any doubt? Test case ID is the ID which we give. Test case description is just the description. Test data, whatever data you use. Test case steps, expected result, actual result. Tomorrow or by next class, try and write as many as test cases you can write for. This is only one test case we wrote. You can write plenty of them. For example, capital letters, small letters, is it accepting symbols or not, all those things, number of characters. You can write as many as you can test cases based on the requirements. You'll write basically. Okay, and try and write without any requirements also. Try and write some test cases for this Google page. Okay, go to Google page and try to test this Google page. So by next class, try and write at least 10 test cases for the Google page. If you don't get any, don't worry, but try to write some. After that, we'll in next class we'll try and discuss this, so that you'll understand different possibilities. Usually what happens is you'll have the requirements, so it is very easy to write the test cases. For example, the requirement is Google search box, this is a search box or search field, should not accept 11 characters. That is the requirement. So what test cases we'll write? We'll write okay, for the same thing we'll write a test case. For example, Google, we'll write in another document. We should write in another document actually, but I'm writing here Google 01. So my requirement is it should not contain characters more than level 11 things. So testing number of characters in Google search. Okay, so test data will be
Write something, example again.
testing number of characters. No, not the proper description. Testing more than 11 characters in Google search. You may have one more test case less than 11 characters. You know equivalence partition, right? You can make any number of you can make equal number of partitions and test cases and write them. Okay, and the test data is some big word more than 11 characters. That is the test data. And test steps is enter the word in search box, and that's all. Search box, and second step is click on Google search. And expected result is, actually we are expecting it to throw an error saying that it should throw an error saying that only 11 characters allowed, but the actual result is it is allowing more than 11 characters. Okay, it is allowing, it's saying it did not search anything, then our test is failed. Okay, so if you have requirements, it's very easy, but you without any requirements, because you all know, you all used Google for a long time, you know its functionality. Now you can, I'll see how many you can write on this page. And I'm giving you a tip, don't consider only the text box. There are several other elements in this page, so consider everything and write your test cases. Okay, shall we proceed further? Okay, that's about test case. So what is this test log? After executing, the first test case is passed, the second one is failed. Noting all those pass and fails are called as test log. Defect tracking. Defect tracking is once you raise a bug, you'll track it until it is solved or cleared. Okay, until the problem is solved. So for that we need to undergo something called as bug life cycle. Then we'll think about, or we'll learn about all these things. Okay, we'll see what bug life cycle is. Do we have time or are we done? Is it okay? 10 more minutes?
That's fine, yeah.
I'll try to cover quickly. Okay, so we'll see something about bug life cycle. So many life cycles: software development life cycle, testing life cycle, again in that bug life cycle. When you think it as a process, everything is a single life cycle and easy. So what happens in bug life cycle? Bug life cycle. When is bug born? When you're testing and when your test fails, you'll find out a bug and you'll report a bug, isn't it? So when you will start your testing activity, and if everything is fine, nothing, you don't need to do anything. But if your test is failed, you will raise the bug. What you'll do, you'll raise the bug. What is raising the bug? When you raise the bug, you'll assign it to a developer to fix it. Okay, you'll assign it to a developer. You'll give that bug to a developer. How will you do it? You can do it via defect tracking softwares or defect management softwares.
Like
Uh,
Jira, everything.
Jira and Bugzilla, Mantis, or you can even just send an email to him saying that this is the bug.
Okay.
Please fix it with all the information. Where will you have that information? In your test case document. The steps to what information you need to send. You need to send this entire information. Then he will know, okay, you use this username and this password and use these steps, but this happened, this did not happen, and all. So you need to attach all that information and send it to the developer. That is the first thing. Then what happens? Developer will fix the bug. Okay. After developer fixes the bug, it will again come back to tester, us.
To test again.
Okay, so we need to retest it. Okay, when we retest it, if the bug is fixed, fantastic, we can close the bug. Okay, if it is not fixed, then again we will
Assign to developer.
reassign it to the developer. Okay, so there are different statuses for this bug. When we raise the bug, we call it, we will keep the status as open in that software. Okay, so in bug life cycle we are discussing about bug status. Open when we raise the bug. Okay, and when developer fixes it, he will set the status as fixed. Okay, and he will send it back to us. We will retest it. Okay, and if we think we still have the bug, we will reassign it to him. The status will be reassigned or something. And if we think there is no more testing need, there is no more fix need to be done, everything is all right, then we will close the bug. Closed, open, fixed, reassigned, closed. We may have some more something else as well. Let me see. Okay, open, fixed, reopen, and closed. Sometimes you'll call it reassigned as well, but everything is same. Open is when we freshly open the bug and assign it to the developer. Fixed is when developer fixes it, he will say fixed and he will send it to us. He will send it to testers. We'll retest it. If it is not fixed, then we'll reopen it. If it is fixed, we'll close it. This is not fixed, so we are again sending it to him. This is fixed, so we'll close. The story is over. Okay, shall I re-explain it again, or Is it
No,
clear?
that's fine.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Very simple. When we open a bug, we will assign it to a developer. If he fixes it, he will make it as fixed and send it to us. We'll retest it again. If still there is a bug, we'll reopen it, or else we'll close it. That's it. Bug will have two things called as severity and priority. Okay. Severity is technical. Priority is business. In priority we have three things: high, moderate, low. Why do we have these things? Why do we have severity and priority? So we have something called as severity and priority, which needs to be included in your bug report. Okay. So we have severity and priority because we will have several bugs to deal with at same point of time. You won't be dealing with only single bug. There will be several bugs, many bugs. Okay. How to know what to test first? What is important first? That is with this severity and priority. Priority will be set by business owner or business analyst or product owner or the client. If client says there are bugs in same login screen and there are bugs in calendar as well, but the business owner says login screen is important than calendar, that is priority.
Okay.
Okay. Priority we have high, moderate and low. Okay. For example, login screen is my high priority. Next I want compose screen, also you have some bug, so compose screen bug is also next important. And the lowest is spelling mistake somewhere. The lowest is color of calendar. Did you understand? So
Yeah.
the tester or developer both will first work on this one, then they will go to this, then they will go to this based on the priority. Priority is set by business.
Client.
Okay, we'll not call them client or anyone, we don't know, we'll just call them business.
Okay.
Business is different from our technical department. Severity is set by someone technical, your team lead or your project, your QA manager or someone. Why? How do we define severity? How it is blocking you. Like you need to test inbox, which is very important, but you need to also test login screen, which is also important. Which one you will test? We'll test login screen first, because only if you test login screen you can go into inbox and do that testing. How severe it is, how much it is affecting, that is severity. Severity, in each company they have their own terms for calling all these things. I'll give you an example. Critical, major, minor. Critical is something which is very big. Critical, major, minor. Critical is when you hit Gmail page, you're not seeing the page at all. You're seeing some 404 error or something. That is critical. You're not seeing the page at all. Major is you're seeing the page, you're seeing the text boxes and all, but you're unable to enter anything into it. Or the sign in button is missing. this you can term as major, because you are unable to carry on with testing, or you are unable to use that application, you'll still call it major. What is minor? Something which is cosmetic. What are cosmetic things? The alignment or the color, or
Options or
yeah,
like
any static things, the look and feel kind of things, those are minor. Any cosmetic thing is minor. And don't worry about setting these things. Even if you set any one of these, you will still test, and nobody cares about this right now. Okay, but by the common sense you will understand how important it is. If it is only minor, you will understand it, and you won't be setting these. Usually your team lead or someone will be setting, and nowadays team leads don't have that much time, so that they will leave it to you. You can enjoy setting this anything. Any doubts in priority and severity? We'll once again cover priority and severity in another document. I have some terms in another document. We'll cover those things in that. Anything else? Any doubts here? That's it. So we are almost end of our manual testing, except half class of telling you what different kinds of testings we have, and how do we deal with them. So I'm stopping this recording.